A very warm evening. Welcome. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. Coming up over the next 90 minutes, fire on the mountain at Liverpool. Mohamed Salah is left after the squad to face Inter Milan in the Champions League because of his outburst. The interview he granted over the weekend. What exactly is going on? Arne Slot has been speaking, so has many other Liverpool legends reacting to this particular story of Mohamed Salah saying that the club has thrown him under the bridge or under the bus. Whichever way you want to look at it, we will digest that issue. And it happened after a 3-3 draw against Leeds United in the Premier League. In the same competition, Arsenal suffered their second defeat of the season in the Premier League, allowing Manchester City to close the gap on them to 2 points. The citizens now smelling blood, and is that the beginning of a collapse for Mikel Arteta's men? We will review the weekend's action in the Premier League and go to La Liga, where Real Madrid also suffered an incredible defeat at home, which also allowed Barcelona to increase the gap at the top of the table to 5 points. And now we're hearing that Xabi Alonso, the manager, has been given one game against Man City in the Champions League to save his job. We will delve into the issues there. Look ahead to the midweek action in the Champions League as well. As I already mentioned, Manchester City against Real Madrid is a big one on Wednesday. Before that, it's Inter Milan against Liverpool. That in itself should be another cracking game of football. And then, obviously, we'll bring you home to the Ghana Premier League and talk about Santoko and House of Folk, who have both lost this weekend, losing further grounds in the title chase. But, ladies and gentlemen, our biggest story of the night will be at the FIFA World Cup draw, where it's now known who Ghana will face in the group stages of the competition. It will be England, Croatia, and Panama. We will digest the World Cup draw and see what is possible for the Black Stars. Mohamed Kudus has already been speaking as well, as several other people, including Otuado, the England manager, have had quite a few things to say about the World Cup draw. We will put every single one of those groups into perspective here on the show. It's live and interactive. It's your show, so let me hear from you. Send me a WhatsApp message. Use the WhatsApp number on your screen, 0551 575757, 0551 575757, or leave me a message on X. Use the hashtag SportsZone, and I will get to you. What do you make of Ghana's group at the World Cup? Can we negotiate that group? How many points can we possibly get from that particular group? That's what I want to hear from you. This show is proudly brought to you by Game Energy Drink, produced by Piva Beverages, and then also Guinness. We will take a short break. When we come back, we've got quite a lot ahead here on the show. Welcome back. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. We are on from now till 10:30 p.m., bringing you unrivaled perspectives from the world of sports. The show is proudly brought to you by Game Energy Drink, which is produced by Piva Beverages, the best energy drink in town, the newest, the freshest. When you need that extra burst of energy, make sure you get Game Energy Drink, and you will know properly about the game. The show is also brought to you by Guinness, the OG Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, and the newest Guinness Smooth, all in the market. Always enjoy Premier League football with a bottle of Guinness. Now, I've got the right man to help me go through all of the issues we'll be talking about here, and we've got quite a lot of issues to go through tonight. Sijofe Philip Ashim and Daniel Cranting are here as usual. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a fantastic, dramatic, eventful weekend, starting from Friday all the way until today. Even just as we were coming in here, the news is still breaking, recirculating. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm excited about how this show could go, possibly. You know.
There's plenty to go around. There's plenty to talk about, yeah.
But you had a good weekend, huh?
Yeah, lovely weekend. Very good weekend.
Great stuff.
Busy, but good.
Very busy. Listen, and it started on Friday when we brought you the FIFA World Cup draw here on this channel. One of the best broadcasts of the FIFA World Cup draw, to be honest. The guys were up to it. we had over 293,000 active live viewers on our stream. It was unbelievable. And the reason was simple. Ghana were discovering their opponents for the FIFA World Cup. And now we know. This is how the draw looks like. Ghana has been placed in Group L, where they will face Panama. They will also take on England, and then they will take on Croatia. That's what the draw looks like. And we have specific dates on when those matches will be played. Ghana will take on Panama in the first game on the 17th of June. And then after that, they will play against England on the 23rd of June. That will take place in Boston. And then after that, they will play against Croatia. Then the last group game, that will be on Saturday, 27th of June. That match will be in Philadelphia. It would be a day after my birthday. Yes, I'm a 26th of June born. I don't want to tell you that Ghana versus Uruguay was played on my birthday.
Bad luck. Which Ghana versus Uruguay? We had 2 editions of that.
The June one.
Obviously,
One was in
the
December.
other one was in December,
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what the draw looks like. We're going to play 1 game in Canada, in Toronto, and then 2 games in the US, in Boston and in Philadelphia. We'll go through the full draw, and I'll come to the guys for their reaction on the draw itself. But quite a number of people have been speaking about the draw. Let's first hear from Ghana coach Otuado, who says that on a good day, the Black Stars can beat any of the teams in Ghana's group. All right, so that's Mohamed Kudus and his thoughts on the draw. Time now to come into the studio and get the thoughts from my guys in here. Listen, you guys did a brilliant job on Friday night with the draw. I'm so proud. But let's talk about the draw itself. Okay, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I'm so proud.
I can't be proud of you. But Sicho, listen, what was your reaction to the draw? And you've also had some time, I mean, obviously there was immediate reaction, but you've also had time to really think about this, and let
the ceremony or the
No, not the draw ceremony. Forget the draw ceremony.
That's terrible.
Forget the draw ceremony. We know our opponent. That's what matters.
Infantino, he talks too much. It's like
everything is about more or less.
The award he gave out, it was so...
No, the award was
I won't describe that award because there will be no other deserving winner in the future.
We'll go back to the same person who won this time, but that's fine.
The award, but you the politician.
They talk too much.
That's terrible.
Listen, Panama are ranked 30th in the world, more than 40 places above Ghana in the FIFA ranking. So clearly they are no minnows. Ghana will be looking at Panama and thinking, first game, we must start well. That could be potentially our first 3 points of the group. Panama, on the other hand, are thinking exactly the same thing. Absolutely. They're thinking, Ghana are the lowest ranked team in this group. That could be our first 3 points. I mean, what do you make of the dynamics of this group? It looks very interesting.
The thing about rankings ahead of competitions normally, or major competition normally would be that the respective teams have played amongst teams they are familiar with in their own territories during qualifiers, maybe during their more recent continental competition. So if they are doing well in those regards, then their rankings are going up. It doesn't necessarily translate to them necessarily being better than another outfit from a more difficult confederation, a more difficult place. So rankings do matter, but when the competition proper starts, sometimes you want to throw that out of the window and focus on exposure, quality, coaching, and many, many aspects. So I think that is where Ghana and Panama comes in. Obviously, England are by far a better team than Ghana. I think so. Croatia as well, with the experience of what they've done in recent competitions. But then Ghana will be looking at Panama, and not necessarily looking at the ranking, but we'll be looking at Panama and looking at the quality in the Black Stars. That the reason why Ghana is ranked that low is simply because in the last 2 years or so, the team has been poor. And the team has been poor not because of the quality of players. It's been poor because they've been poorly managed. So if Ghana can get properly managed, they know they've got what it takes to get the better of Panama. And so as you said, Ghana will be eyeing that Panama game because it's crucial, the first game. And Panama as well be thinking like that because they would know England and Croatia won't come easy. So it's up to the two teams now to devise how they are going to get the better of each other. But from the Ghana viewpoint, that is a must-win game. The whole story about nobody's disrespecting Panama, but facts are facts that England and Croatia are better outlet than Panama. So if there's that one fixture that you need to win to give yourself a chance of progressing through the group, it's got to be that game against Panama. So it's not disrespect to them. For them to will be the same when they talk about Ghana. But yeah, we need to win that game and see what we get from the others and maybe progress from the group. It's doable.
And as you always like to point out, this World Cup, considering that there will be three, in fact, that there will be 8 countries, eight third-place countries will make it to the round of 32 at this World Cup. So Ghana can finish third in the group with 3 points and qualify. But in the same vein, you look at the opponents that Ghana is going to face in this group. Bar Panama, the other 2 teams have played multiple African teams at the World Cup. None of them have lost a game against any of them. England have never lost to an African team at the World Cup. Neither have Croatia. In fact, Croatia at the last World Cup in 2022 with an old squad, seemingly whatever, they made it to the semi-finals. They met an African team twice. Drew the first one in the group stages against Morocco and beat them in the 3rd place game.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that say about how we could potentially approach this particular tournament with all of this history in the backdrop?
French is going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's a very
That's the
tough,
reality. That's the truth.
It's a very tough draw. Aside the fact that it's a World Cup, there are no easy games, which is a fact. Ghana has been handed a very tough group. Now, I was looking at the rest of the groups, and in as much as we would think that, yes, Panama looks like the most beatable team on paper, it may not even matter. Because the other groups have the likes of Uzbekistan, Kuruchao, Haiti. So groups like that, you expect the pot 3 teams to beat them and beat them good. So it may not, 3 points may not be enough for you to qualify, as we are thinking now because of the advantage of having 3rd place teams going through. I think we would have to get 4 points to guarantee a place in the round of 32.
So.
Because, again, as I've mentioned, some of these newbies coming in will be the whipping boys of their groups and have much better teams in those groups who will be looking to capitalize. I'm looking at the Côte d'Ivoire group, and Ivory Coast facing Croatia could give them 5-6. It's very possible. And then
you could also end up with 3 points, but Côte d'Ivoire would qualify.
Côte d'Ivoire will qualify ahead of you because, exactly, more goals. So it will be very important for us to not just think about the Panama game, but think of how we can get something out of the games against Croatia and England. And in saying that, I'm now looking at the fixture arrangement, and I don't think it's an advantage for Ghana. We don't start well at major competitions, full stop. I think the last time we won an opening game at a major competition was in 2010. The World Cup, 2010 World Cup. After that, 2014, we lost against USA. And it was a very similar sentiment at the time. USA CONCACAF team, we have to beat them. If we beat them, get a draw from either Germany or Portugal, we'll qualify. Then we go into the first game. Same scenario, we ended up losing. So it's very important that the Black Stars are up to it on day one. Because it's very difficult. Opening games of the tournament, I was telling somebody today that I would have preferred we face one of the bigger teams, maybe England on day one, get a feel of the competition, and then
Panama
face
on second match,
and then maybe,
I think that would have been the perfect
Croatia.
arrangement.
But if you go into the Panama game first and your players are not up to it, now they are having to overcome jitters, nerves. If you realize in 60 minutes is goalless, Panama sneak a goal, you are done. Like your competition is done. So it's very important that the focus is up there. They get that job done in the Panama game. And they have to get something out of the England and Croatia game. It's imperative. If you don't get it, you are in trouble. If you lose both games, you are in serious trouble. So I'm looking at it. It's very tough. But again,
played recently, when you play against England and you're up to it, you could lose with a very nasty scoreline. England have got supremely talented attackers. They've got goals in the team. They score from set pieces. They score from several scenarios. So if we are not up to it, you could win against Panama, but the advantage in that victory will be dwarfed by the nasty defeat if you are not up to it against England and then Croatia. By that time, we would also know what results what they would need to confirm their place, in the last 32. So it's not going to be all simple, but the point is, you need to start right and start well. One thing I also don't like is that Ghana's group is the last group.
Yeah.
Normally, when the coach and the psychologist of the team need to keep the boys, the pressure and the anticipation and the expectation and the nerves and the anxiety at a very reasonable level. Because when the tournament kickstarts and all you have to do in the USA at the time is to go and train and come back and continuously wait for that day to come. Sometimes that whole drag can be very difficult for players to handle. And I remember a similar thing happened to our team when we were in Qatar. The tournament had started, teams had played their football. Ghana was playing, I think, on match day 5 or 6 because Ghana was about in the last group or so. And some of the players wanted to get the game out of their system. You can't help it. You're at a tournament, you want to play your first game. Once that first game is out of your system, then you are properly into the tournament. Yeah. So the fact that our game is in the last group as well, the team has to do a lot more than just the training. The psychology of the team has to be properly prepared to deal with anxiety, the nerves, the expectation, the wait, the long wait for when Ghana will kick their first game of the competition.
Let's look at the rest of the group. So overall, highlight a few. Obviously, defending champions are in Group J, alongside another African country, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. DK, quick thoughts on that. This tournament has a history of, in recent years, defending champions always don't start too well. I think France, they did well last time out. But potentially a very tricky game for Argentina against Algeria.
Yeah, tricky, but you expect Argentina to get the job done. But I'm looking at, for Austria and then Algeria, they'll be looking at their games against Jordan. As I've said, whipping boys in the group. You go up to the Cameroon group. Sorry, the Cote d'Ivoire group. Both Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire will be looking at Kurusha as the whipping boys. Then you go to the group that has Haiti in there, Scotland, Morocco. So already you are taking teams that look like could easily secure the third place, or where some of the third place teams will come out from. Even that Cape Verde group, Cape Verde themselves, a really good team. We'll be looking at Saudi Arabia, same way Saudi Arabia will be looking at them as an opportunity to clinch a third place spot. So for me, it's imperative that we look at ourselves and get something out of the England-Croatia game. And if you ask me, I think we stand a chance of getting something out of, a better chance of getting something out of the Croatia game than the England game.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing for me about some of these groups is this, right? You look at groups like the Portugal group, Group K, and you look at that playoff place, that could be another European team coming in there. Could it? Is Uzbekistan European?
No, the Portugal group is the DRC.
The
DRC
Intercontinental.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's likely DRC.
It's likely DRC.
Because they seeded.
Okay, so DRC could come in there, and that could be a tricky one. And then there is the Group I, France, Senegal, and then the winner of the other intercontinental playoff match, which will come in there, and then you have Norway. That could potentially be a very difficult group. But for me, I'm looking at those other playoff places, A, B, C, and D, which will all come from Europe. That could come and really complicate a lot of these groups because those European teams that are coming off the playoff are very strong.
And we know that for playoff A, that is the path that Italy is on.
There you go.
And Italy are the favourites on that side. Not to say they are going to come automatically, but surely they are favourites. And so Italy will be licking their lips that maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they were not automatically qualifying through because that group, with the greatest respect to all the countries there, if Italy do find themselves there, they don't really fancy their chances of getting out of that group against Canada, against Qatar, against Switzerland. But it must also be said that all the host countries did have reasonable draws that are not necessarily the most difficult ones in the pot. So you have Mexico, South Africa, Korea, and another team coming in. I think in Mexico, when they are playing all their games at home, they should be going through that group. They should find a way of going through. Canada as well, play Qatar, Switzerland, and then maybe Italy come. That could be tough. But Canada have got a decent group of players. They've been on the ascendancy in the last couple of years. They would think third place they can manage, second place they can be there. And of course, you have the USA who will play Paraguay, Australia, and another team coming through. Another manageable, group for the host nation. So I think the draw handed the host nations some very, very interesting matchups.
You throw in another European team in that USA group, and all of a sudden, I think they will find it difficult. They're not beating those South American countries. Paraguay is super strong. And the interesting thing I found out on Saturday was that I was watching an Australian channel, and the Australian channel said they showed a video of the Americans celebrating when they got Australia, right?
Yeah.
And then they played back their own studio of when they got the USA.
They were also,
They were also
the
celebrating.
US are going into the competition in a very terrible form. They've not been good in the last 2 years, even when Pochettino took over. So in the next 6 months, something needs to change in that team. Also, it hasn't been helped that when they play some of those competitions that Pochettino would need the players around, not all of those players who are playing in Europe have turned up for it. So it's difficult for him to build a group that is collective. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 6 months leading to the competition.
I have a question for you. Is this finally the year for Egypt to get it out of their group?
I think they'll do it.
Iran, New Zealand.
I think they have 3 points against New Zealand. No disrespect to the New Zealanders. Iran will be a tough game.
It will be.
It will be an extremely tough game because.
But I'm even looking at Belgium.
Very similar. I'm not afraid of Belgium.
I'm saying a game where they could potentially get something.
Yeah. I think beat New Zealand, get a point for me that the Belgium or Iran game you've qualified.
Because guys, you're not going to believe this. They've never made it out of the group stages of any World Cup.
They never have. I think this would be, also looking at the fact that it could be the last World Cup for Trezeguet, Mohamed Salah, El Neni, some of the boys who have, the goalkeeper, El Shanawi, some of the boys who have served the country well. They want to live on a high, and maybe there's a time to take Egypt out of the group stage into the last 32 in this competition. I think they've got a very good chance of doing it.
I have one simple question for you. Is that one game any of you looking forward to in the group stages?
Mbappe versus Haaland. France-Norway.
France-Norway. That would be something.
And Portugal versus Uzbekistan.
And I'm also looking forward, that would be in the knockout stage, because if Portugal do top their group and go all the way to the quarters, and Argentina do top their group and go all the way to quarters, we have Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the World Cup.
Wow, interesting. And there's also the pathway draw, obviously, which will ensure that we will not find a lot of the top-ranked teams beating each other until at least the semi-final. So that's the lowdown on the World Cup draw. What do you think? How many points could Ghana potentially get? Will we make it out of this group? And does drawing England reopen a conversation about the Premier League-based English boys and whether or not they can make an argument and say they know the players. So
obviously, for storylines, it would be nice, but I'm saying for
But
storylines.
but Kudu said it.
Yeah.
Kudu said that, there's those that they play, they know how most of the players, they play with them, they know how they. He said, we are not the one going to say.
So we should add more of the ones who play with them.
Otto might have to take some support from there. So, although they were in the English academies and English, so they know all the tricks, how they think, how they press. They can give us clues. But they can give us all of that, and we promise them that after the World Cup, they'll come and play.
Yeah, I've got a couple of messages here on the WhatsApp number about Ghana group, so I'm going to read them before we switch to Premier League action. Good evening, Fentia and your Pandas. Group L is the group of death, I think. No, it's a group full of life. This is from Mutala. Interesting. Group full of life. Okay. Gastro Steve from China says, good evening, Sports Zone. Ghana is in a difficult group, but it's better to know you have a bigger task ahead in order to prepare adequately. The Black Stars are going to the World Cup for business, but not for tourism. Ghana to beat Panama, draw with Croatia, and lose to England. Then advance as the better third place team with 4 points. Interesting one. Gastro Steve is predicting. Hi, good evening to you and your crew. What a group Ghana find itself. Apart from Panama, which team can we confidently say that we can beat, looking at the state of our team? Let's see what time unfolds in the USA. Madrid is going through some dark moments now, but for sure this thing shall pass. Joseph from Bandai. Strongman Fuzi says, I greet all the Sports Zone staff. Last week was a very bad week for me because Arsenal were beating. Okay. And also Hazard lost. Interesting. Keep on with the good works. This message says, my name is Casillas inside Snit Takradi. Big ups to my sister, Usi Cold. And he say, Cole Palmer was 8th and we, the Chelsea fans, are proud. And me, I know we'll win it one day. Remember that. Okay, interesting. Hi, guys. Greetings and well wishes to you all. I hope you're good. I never thought in a million years that my boys, Aston Villa, could beat an informed Arsenal team. Ghana will win England hands down. Interesting message as well from a Villa fan. Next time, add your name. Hello, good evening, my beautiful. Okay. Okay, this is Michael from Sinyana who says, I see it too early to count us in the title race because we've not reached even half of the season. But I believe we can win the league if we continue with this consistency. Ghana can also beat England on any day. We don't go shiver. Partey will cook rice. Have a good evening. Michael, thank you for your message. Pilolo, formerly Sunyani, now in Bordeaux, says first game home. So Ghana will wear yellow jersey. Okay. Second game against England, they have white as home jersey, so we'll wear the yellow, okay. Third game against Croatia, they wear white, so we will wear yellow. We have qualified. I repeat, we have qualified. Susum is in the yellow jersey. Pilolo, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Ramsey in Tamale says, good show as always, guys. Ghana's group is very much winnable, in my opinion. However, with Otuado, I don't really see the Black Stars doing well at the World Cup. Barely 6 months in the tournament, and I don't see any direction of the team with regards to identity. If we are a serious country, Otto should not be our coach at the World Cup because Curaçao has the Advocat as their coach. Ghana can definitely do better in appointing a world-class coach. Interesting. Ramsey with that particular message. Keep your messages coming, 0551 575 757. We're going to do Premier League action now and take you to Arsenal Football Club. They took on Aston Villa for this particular weekend, and that match did not go too well for them. What a game. What a game. What a result for Aston Villa. And listen, the truth is, you can go on and make all the excuses for Arsenal and why they lost and blah, 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 but we really do need to give credit to Aston Villa. They've been on an incredible run of form up until this point. And Unai Emery, yes, again, showing that he is probably one of the top managers in the Premier League. It may not have gone well for him at Arsenal, but there is no doubt that Unai Emery is a wonderful manager. And so far, he's done an incredible job at Aston Villa. Danny, did it surprise you that Unai Emery beat Arsenal?
Kind of. I didn't think Arsenal would lose the game. I thought, if anything, it would be a draw. Okay. Especially with the score at 1-1, 10 minutes to go. I thought Arsenal would keep it tight at the back, go away with the points. But credit to Aston Villa. Look, they had a superb game plan. From the blast of the whistle, they looked like the more dangerous side. But then I took the highlights from Arsenal TV, so that's why it looks as if Arsenal had the better opportunities. But Villa kept knocking. Raya had to make some really good saves in the first half, even in the second half, to keep Arsenal in the game. Look, you might have a very super squad, but games like this, you need your top players available. And I think Arsenal missed Gabriel and Saliba at the back. Villa were trying to bully Arsenal, second balls, hitting the ball long. And in situations like this, you need your centre-back pairing to have a proper understanding. And you could just tell that it was lacking there for Arsenal, and Villa took advantage of it. But that's how a 38-game season is. You would look like you are cruising at 1 point, then you will be in trouble 1 point. And I think Arteta and his guns know. They understand how the league works. Now just 2 points ahead of Manchester City, but bring on the challenge. If you want to win the Premier League, it's never going to be easy.
Isn't this the kind of situation that the whole squad depth thing was supposed to solve? Because we praised Arteta here multiple times and say, yeah, he's built quite the squad. Now, DK was the one who raved all about it. He said they have so many players out, but you can't feel it. We don't feel. I felt it last weekend.
Yeah, it was quite obvious that the backline wasn't the same. And we praised Mikel Arteta that he didn't have Joe Carres, Kai Havertz, Gabriel, Jesus, at some point, Saka and Madueke. Odegaard was injured for the longest time, yet they managed to get themselves...
They were scoring.
Get 3 points on the board in most of the games that they played, and it looked unstoppable from that point in. And in fact, when either Saliba or Gabriel missed games, their replacements also didn't look out of place. So straight away, you just thought that Arsenal had built a super machine. I still think they have a super machine. It won't always click together. It won't always function as you want it to be. And that was one of the weekends where an Aston Villa team that has now found its rhythm Remember, they had not scored a goal in their first 4 games. They don't won a game in their first 5 games. But once United Emery found that rhythm again, and the players now started believing in themselves again, they've become a difficult team to crack. And on the weekend, they were difficult to crack. In the second half, Arsenal got a lot better once Arteta made those substitutions. But again, Aston Villa and United Emery smartly readjusted to curtail the threat that was being thrown at them. And in the end, it was a tight one to win. A scrappy goal, but they would take it. Buendia finishing off well once the ball dropped to his feet. He's got that quality in his locker. But yeah, when Gabriel is not there and when Saliba is not there, you've got Calafiori who can fit in as a centre-half. You've got Timber who can do the same job. Even Ben White was known as a centre-half until Arteta made him one of the best right-backs in the league a couple of seasons ago. So they've got enough quality to be able to manage some of these situations. And this game didn't look like a 2-1 victory for Aston Villa for me. I agree with Danike. Arsenal could have walked out of that game with a draw. But these are the margins in the Premier League. A win can easily be turned into a draw, and a draw can easily be turned into a victory. So yeah, that is where we are in the Premier League. Aston Villa are no fluke. They are where they are because of how good they've been in recent weeks.
Yeah. But all of that good, it only amounts to a 2-point difference now in the league. And Man City took full advantage of Arsenal dropping points. They beat Sunderland handsomely to close the gap to 2 points. This is how it went down. All right, so Manchester City 3, Sunderland 0. I have one simple question. I mean, obviously, it's not like anyone ruled out Manchester City at the start of the season when it comes to winning the Premier League title. But where they are now, only 2 points behind Arsenal, are they properly backing it? Have they taken over the favourite tag?
No, I don't think so. I still think Arsenal are favourites. Between City and Arsenal, I think the team that can give us a more consistent result is still Arsenal, in my opinion. Yeah, the last 2 games hasn't gone their way, but I still think Arsenal look a lot more solid than Man City. Beating Arsenal in the stuff. Aston Villa had to dig in really
What about
deep.
handling the pressure?
So there is that. So Arsenal now will have to prove to us that they've got what it takes to hold that pressure when a team is breathing down their necks. Most often they have been the one that are breathing down the necks of other teams. But now they are the very top. City are playing catch up. Can they handle the pressure when they hear the footsteps of Pep Guardiola's team right behind them? Arsenal need to prove to them they've got that character. They've got that ability to withhold the pressure that City will going to apply. But I still think that between Arsenal and City, at least for now, it's Arsenal that I think are capable of getting consistent run of results. City are getting the results. I still think City are not a finished article yet, so they are likely to drop more points than Arsenal would, I think so.
Interesting. I mean, well, it's Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. He says the season is very, very long. So you can understand exactly what he means by that. City do have a squad to go on a run and beat the rest of the teams. I actually think that maybe City might not have a good enough squad to beat Arsenal in the football match, you know, when the 2 teams face each other. But I actually can't see Man City beating everybody else in the Premier League.
You think City have got it in them to do, what, 9 games in a row?
Yeah.
This current City team.
We'll see. We'll see. I won't put it past them. I just don't think so. But if they do it, I'm not going to bet money on that. It's Pep Guardiola City. They've got experience. The club knows how to do this. But from what I've seen so far this season, in purely analysing what I've seen on the pitch, they are still a lot more vulnerable than Arsenal are.
Yeah, because Arsenal's big players will still come back. That will make them a lot more stronger, obviously. So we'll see. So Arsenal's still favourites for you. Anyway, let's talk about the game of the weekend there. Leeds United against Liverpool. That match ended 3-0, but the result wasn't even the biggest talking point. First of all, let's enjoy the highlights. All right, so that match ended 3-0. Salah, again, didn't come off the bench. And he was furious. That was the 3rd game in a row where he had been left on the bench. He wasn't happy about that. Granted an interview. And these are some of the things he said. Among other things, he said that somebody was trying to throw him under the bus. He says, I'm very disappointed, to be fair. I've done so much for this club down the years, and especially the last season. Now I'm sitting on the bench, and I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That is how I'm feeling. I think it's very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. That someone wants him out of the club. I got a lot of promises in the summer, and so far I am on the bench for 3 games, so I can't say they keep the promise. I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why, but it seems to me, how I see it, is that someone doesn't want me in the club. Wow. 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 There's more. This club, he says, I always support it. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much, I will always do. I called my mom yesterday. You guys didn't know if I would start or not, but I knew. Yesterday I said to them, come to the Brighton game. I don't know if I'm going to play or not, but I'm going to enjoy it. In my head, I'm going to enjoy the game because I don't know what is going to happen now. Because in a few weeks, in my head, I'm going to enjoy that game. Okay, it says in a few weeks, I'll be off to the Africa Cup of Nations. I'll go to Anfield to say goodbye to the fans and go to the AFCON. I don't know what is going to happen when I am there. My God. That's Mohamed Salah. That's Mohamed Salah. Strong, strong words. He says he had a relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden, there's no relationship. He says he feels somebody wants to throw him under the bus. Somebody wants him to get all the blame. Somebody doesn't want him at the club. So, Arne Slot was asked that question. Whether all the things he said about somebody not wanting him at the club, somebody wanting him to get all the blame, whether he was referring to Arne Slot. And this is what Arne Slot said. All right, so that's the Liverpool manager, Arne Slot. This is what we know. Salah has been left out of the Liverpool squad that has travelled to Milan to face Inter Milan in the Champions League. He's at home. He trained yesterday, but it did not include him in the squad. The board, the manager, had a meeting, decided it was a distraction, they don't need him. So they left him behind. They'll go play that game, they come back, they ask the manager, will he play against Brighton this weekend? His last game before the AFCON, the manager says he doesn't know. He's only focusing on the Milan game. Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, was one of the people who addressed the press conference. He said that Salah knows that what he's going through now, being left behind, is a consequence of what he said, and that they would have a conversation. I've got the guys in the studio here, and I just need to ask you an open question. What did you make of this whole Salah situation? I'll begin with you, Denike.
Okay. Exceptional players deserve special treatment.
And this is exceptional we are talking about.
Look,
you don't do this. 38 appearances, 29 goals, 18 assists. In fact, viewers, just take a look at the assists.
These are striker numbers.
No, this is a selfish player who only thinks about himself when he's playing. Take a look at the assists. 18,
That's
10, 12, 13, 5, 10, 8. In fact, he's done single number assists in only 2 out of his 9 seasons. This is Mohamed Salah. Now look at the goals. 15 plus guarantee, and this is just Premier League. 15 plus guarantee since he came to the Liverpool Football Club. These are championship winning. In any other top team, he's winning more than 2 Premier League titles. 32, 22, 19, 22, 23, 19, 18, 29. These are crazy numbers, and this is crazy level of consistency. You don't do this thing consecutively for 9 years, only to be treated like a normal squad player. It doesn't work like that. And I will not agree with anybody who tells me that Salah is a Liverpool player, the manager is in charge, so he should suck it up. No. He is Mohamed Salah for a reason. That is why top players deserve special treatment. There are so many stories of Sir Alex Ferguson and Cantona. And these are Cantona's mates who tell us these stories, not Ferguson. The fact that they sat in the same dressing room and week after week, somebody will do something, the person will get scolded. Cantona does it, Ferguson will manage the situation. Do you know why? Because you can't win him games the way Cantona can do it.
Right.
There's nobody in that Liverpool dressing room that can pick up this team and single-handedly win games and championships. Nobody can do it. Salah has done it. Last season, if you remember the interview Salah granted at the end of the season, when he was talking about the conversation he had with Slot before the start of the season. Slot walked into the team and knew that he didn't have the opportunity to buy players. And Salah told him that if you structure the team in a certain way, I will win the title for you. I will give you the numbers. I can guarantee you the numbers. And what happened? He guaranteed him the numbers and they won the league.
He's most ever.
Ever. And that's the sort of player that Mo Salah is in. So when you go through or when you start a season and 3 months into the season, the entire team is struggling, not just one player. The entire team is struggling. The head coach is clearly struggling to find solutions to the problem. What Salah said is not just directed to the manager. You can't then pick out the same person that the fans and the league voted as the best player, who won the golden boot, who won the top assist maker. You can't now single him out and make him the problem. It is very disingenuous, especially when we've seen similar situations like that play out in certain clubs, and the narrative was different. We remember when Kylian Mbappe, just last season by this time, when Kylian Mbappe walked into Real Madrid had won the Champions League. Mbappe went into the team. He was scoring goals. Real Madrid were suffering, but they said Mbappe was the problem because he was the new guy coming into the team that was already settled. The same people who are calling Salah the problem today were saying Mbappe was the problem because he's the new guy who was coming, and because he was coming in, now players were struggling and Real Madrid were struggling to figure out how to use him. So why doesn't the same thing apply here today? When the entire team is struggling, why aren't they blaming the 150 million star? Why aren't they blaming the 150 million striker? This very season, 4 or 5 games into the season, when the German attacking midfielder was struggling for numbers, the same people who are singling Salah out to be the problem, not a problem, the problem this season, were making excuses for that 150 million player. And you think a player like Mohamed Salah will not sit back and see the narratives that are being thrown out?
And he said it.
And he said it. And he has every right to say it. We remember Harry Kane's issue. We remember.
He started the Kane.
We are all here.
And I apologize to Kane for mentioning his name.
No, because it's respect. But he has to make that statement. He sees it. It's not about fans. It's not about... It's the narrative that is being pushed. And you see, Boga, we are all in this job. We understand how it works. When something happens, major issues happen, and you watch this show, what Fentuo thinks is not the same thing I think, it's not the same thing Sicho thinks.
Very diverse opinions.
Very diverse opinions, because human beings think differently. We view things differently. That's why you listening to me right now, you even have a different opinion. You are fuming because you don't agree with what I'm saying.
Yes.
But when you see an orchestrated reaction, everybody is writing the same thing. Everybody is pointing fingers at one person. Then you know it's coming from somewhere. We are in this job and we understand how it works. And the players who play also understand how this thing works. So when Salah looks at this thing, Sky is writing and telling him he's a problem. The Sun is saying, every media outlet is saying he is a problem. Yet when Van Dijk was making mistakes, they all made mistakes. They all made excuses for him. Oh, Van Dijk, it's not his fault.
It's Konate.
It's Konate. But when Salah doesn't score, or when the whole team doesn't score, that one is not Isak's fault. It's not Gapo's fault. It is Mohamed Salah's fault. He has every right to call them out for the hypocrisy, because it's hypocrisy. Whether you like it or not.
There are ways of handling this. So you have
No. You see, listen and read between the lines.
Right.
Players like this, he has played long enough and has a track record for fans and anybody who really wants to understand, to be able to assess things. Yeah. Salah doesn't always run to the press. And things have happened. Plenty things have happened. He doesn't always run to the press. So players like this, when they speak, it means that they have run out of options. Salah said that I used to have a very good relationship with the coach. All of a sudden, he didn't say it as tense. He said, I don't have one. The relationship doesn't exist. And he doesn't know why. He's been sitting on the bench for 3 matches and he doesn't understand why. Clearly means communication has not happened between himself, and if communication had happened, he will understand why he's sitting on the bench. And it doesn't look like he will get his answer until he goes public. And now he's going to force the people who are in charge to give him an answer as to why he's sitting on the bench. Look, he's Mohamed Salah. Players like Salah, when they are sitting on the bench, you have to explain to them why they are sitting on the bench. And you don't keep them there for long. 2 seasons ago.
Explain to him. He says he doesn't know why, but I don't think a manager just... Is it possible that a manager just drops a player with that?
Yes, we've seen it so many times. Let's not act like we've not seen it.
He said he's had constant conversations with Salah. Up until even Saturday, he had a conversation.
Saying, I don't believe the coach. Me, I don't believe Anslot. What Ancelotti did today, I have seen this thing plenty times. Ten Hag, same thing. The PR and media team will sit him down and run him.
So for you,
I'm saying that this thing,
yes,
you remember Ancelotti and Modric.
yes,
Right after Ten Hag had done the Ronaldo thing, they asked Ancelotti if Modric still had a part to play in the team. He said yes. They asked him about the whole bench situation. And he said for a player like Modric, if he asked him to warm up, then best believe he's going to play.
right.
He's not like any other player who warm up and come and sit down for sitting down sake or warm up for warming up sake, because he's a special kind of player. You don't treat players like Mohamed Salah just like any other player.
So preferential treatment.
Preferential treatment. And lastly,
okay,
to the side of the Liverpool fan base, who I don't know if they've forgotten, I don't know if maybe they don't know who Mohamed Salah is, who today want to tell Salah that he's underperforming, so he should suck it up, he should sit down.
like the ex-players.
Look,
Most of that narrative is coming from
footballers are friends. Footballers, they see all these things. Salah chose to stay, and this is how he's being repaid. Trent left. They say, he's not loyal, he's not loyal. The one who chose to be loyal, who chose to continue to stay with the club and try and help them win more titles. The moment something went wrong, the entire club is turning against him. And now the fans too, and I'm not all the fans, because I know there are some fans who are standing behind him, who are true and remember and know the sacrifices he has done and are standing behind him. The ones who are choosing to turn around, you see, life is very funny. That solution they are looking for with Salah, no, don't get it.
The solution is Salah.
He is the solution. He is the solution. If you get rid of Mohamed Salah, you are going to have to start afresh. Because a player like Salah, you can't replace him today, you can't replace him tomorrow. He's a special one in a generation player.
Fair enough. Let me go to Sicho. Sicho, Daniel has spoken plenty. But is there any scenario in this whole situation where you understand the manager and the club to some extent for why they've decided to handle this matter the way they have?
It's two sides. Before Salah spoke or after Salah spoke?
No, I mean after. But talk about the things before.
No, look, I'm looking at this thing and I date it back to last season. Okay. And maybe the season before. When you've got a player like Mohamed Salah who delivered the numbers we just saw, it doesn't make any sense that he actually goes into the last 6 months of his contract without knowing where his future lies.
Right.
I've always had a feeling that Liverpool were calculating and were not sure if they would hand Salah the contract extension. But Salah was just too good last season to be ignored, so they had no choice than to hand him that big check. With regret, really, because they didn't want to do it. Liverpool have always prided themselves as a club that doesn't pay over the top, won't pay as much as City would pay. And now Mohamed Salah is commanding that much because he's earned it. So right from last season, when Salah was making those interviews that he's more out of the club than he's in, nobody is speaking to him about. Because think about it. It doesn't make any sense that a player like Mohamed Salah's caliber would not have a deal set for him in a club like Liverpool. And so all of that has dovetailed into this season where all of a sudden he's not necessarily meeting the heights that he himself has set for himself because of his high standards. And I think maybe there are some people in the club who are almost like saying in corridors that we told you should have gone. It's not. It wasn't. Right. And maybe Salah is picking off that thing. And that's why he's coming off saying that there are some in the club who don't want him in the club. They're throwing him under the bus. So it's almost become a perfect excuse for the club to get rid of him because they gave him a deal they were not necessarily willing to give him. Yeah. But aside that, I think that Daniel said it. Look, I'm one of those who think that people earn their levels and people earn their respect. Right. Mohamed Salah didn't walk into Liverpool to achieve what he's achieved. Be better than every single player in the time that he's been there in the club. For you to just turn your back on him after 15 games that he's not been the same Salah you've seen, especially when you don't have any option in that position, especially when the entire team is not playing well. And here's the thing. If Liverpool had, and I posted this on X, if Liverpool had a player like Neto, and Neto wasn't playing enough because there's Salah, so Neto hasn't seen a lot of games. Or maybe Esteva from Brazil, and is so talented, he's young, he's brilliant. and Salah is not playing so well, and the manager thinks, okay, now let me just throw in Neto now and then see what he does. Right. I can understand. Because we've got quite a young, talented footballer who also needs a chance to prove himself. But we're looking at a Liverpool team that was poorly planned over the summer. So a player like Xabi Elliott, who could have easily done a good job in that position, was sent out on loan. They never brought in a replacement to do that job, and the manager doesn't trust Kaiser to do the same. So Salah, in theory, is irreplaceable in the position in which he played because there is got no other player who can do that. Now, when you take out Mohamed Salah from the equation and you play Dominic Szoboszlai in that position, that is even more insulting to Mohamed Salah.
Right.
Because what you're trying to say is that in that position, Dominic Szoboszlai, I should say,
a makeshift player,
gives the team something that Salah wouldn't give the team. And in the 3 games that Salah hasn't played, Szoboszlai is a great player, but Liverpool's results and their output hasn't necessarily reflected the decision the manager has made. And to make it worse, if it is 2-2 against Leeds United, and you look on your bench and you've got Mohamed Salah, and you come through him on, then it's gone past, trying to find a solution or a problem because
it's just punishment.
And so when Salah feels like he's being pushed out of the club, or he feels like some people don't want him to be there, maybe he has a case there. Because look, I can understand that Salah hasn't played well, so you're like, okay, Salah sits out in this game, then he comes in for 20 minutes, sits out in the second, comes in for 20. But when you do it 3 games in a row, that is, for me, terrible management of
and
a
there's
player.
scenarios where you desperately need a goal.
And
you look at the bench, and there's only one player that's capable of making a difference. You leave him, you ignore him, and bring him.
And this is why Liverpool are where they are. Look, the fact that Liverpool have got a special talent like Mohamed Salah, and this season, they want to build a more complete team without building a team around that superstar, is the reason they are where they are. When you have a player like Mohamed Salah, you need to set up the team that makes him effective. Yeah. What Arne Slot has done and Liverpool have done with their summer business was to try and build a team with Salah and make it like all of us are the same. We are all going to work as hard. We are all going to track back. It won't work. Ekitike is not Salah. Isak is not Salah. Florian Wirtz is not Salah. In fact, put those 3 players together, they aren't Mo Salah because he's been that good. Yeah. I think Liverpool have not managed their transfer well, and that is why they are struggling. It's a Salah problem. But I think the Salah issue that he's complaining about started from last season.
And what about the way they've handled it? You think this whole leaving him out of the squad?
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. As soon as Mohamed Salah came out to talk about the club and the manager in that way, then the club now has to respond by setting an example for all the other players.
Right.
So I understand how Salah feels, but I can understand how the club has managed it. So Salah could have said what he said, but the club has to take care of itself.
And then, you alluded to it, you didn't expand on it. You said when a group of people go and sit down and decide that they don't like you, it doesn't matter what you do, they'll send you out. And it seems to me like there's been a pattern this season. Salah has been unusually vocal about a number of issues. You remember the tweet he tweeted calling out UEFA about the Palestine issue. Yeah. And even before that, he took issue with Liverpool themselves when they tweeted about the new signings being a perfect replacement for the players they lost.
Yeah, that was a popular fan group.
Yes, and he called it, insulting, right? Yeah. Because it didn't, it made it seem like the players that left you were not respecting them.
And here's the thing Salah said that, I was looking out for that tweet, but of course, I don't want to... So to make it clear for those who don't remember that, a famous Liverpool fan group posted a picture of Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, who had left the club, and was ushering in Isak and Florian Wirtz, and was saying that, look at the upgrade. Yeah. And that the players who had left the club were downgrades, and the players who were coming into the club were upgrades. Yeah. And Mohamed Salah said that they should respect the players who had won with the club. Yes. And of course, these players who are coming in had not won yet. Nope. I have a feeling Mohamed Salah knew the club was getting a lot of things wrong. Yeah. If the club was signing Ronaldo in his prime and Messi in his prime, I doubt Mohamed Salah makes that post. Right. But Salah knew that you can't let a player like Luis Diaz leave. You can't replace him. He's not on the market. And we've lost Darwin Núñez. He brings something that Isak won't bring, even though Isak is a good player. Footballers are smart. They train. They know what works for the team and what works for them. And on hindsight, what Salah said, even though he didn't speak about a transfer, when he spoke about respecting those players who are left, now it's even clearer because the players who have come through have failed at it.
Delivered. All right, this is Sports Zone. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I've got your messages, and then we will go to Spain and finish here at home. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. This is Sport Zone, proudly brought to you by Piva Beverages, producers of Game Energy Drink and Guinness. Lots of you have sent in messages. Danike, your analysis on the Salah saga is sweet and sexy. There's no dull moment watching this show. Koyaja inside in Konya. This message, Franklin Foley said, guys, this is something Liverpool love doing to black players. It happened to Sadio Mane. He should just leave the club. The club is blaming him for nothing. He should leave now. All right. This one is from Fred in Agona Nkwanta, who says, I believe Man City has to make some marquee signings both in defense and in midfield. They need to augment the squad. I just see from Ashaman, Washington says, we'll beat Panama and draw Croatia and qualify as one of the third best placed teams. This is a message also from Justice at Stanford SNR in Keta. All right, cool. And then I've got this one here as well. And it says, the weekend hate watching details. Madrid embarrassed at their stadium with a look like makeup kit. Liverpool and Salah shenanigans. Chelsea went for first service with their shuffling Estevao at Bournemouth. Arsenal got beating of Villa. And in all this, my beloved Barca back 5 goals against Betis. What a time to be a cooler. Speaking about Real Madrid, against Celta Vigo, they lost shockingly at home by 2-0. They're now 5 points behind the leaders, Barcelona. And now we're being told that Xabi Alonso has one game to save his job, and that's against Man City. If he loses, he could be losing his job. This was a very interesting game. Real Madrid had 2 players sent off. They had injury to Militao. He's now out for 4 months. Sicho, I mean, we've previously discussed what's going on here, but this was pretty bad.
And to make it worse, at 10 men, Madrid played a lot better than when they were 11. They were slow, they couldn't pass the ball around a lot more. I think the problem, that's a beautiful goal, by the way. Great improvisation there to get the ball into the back of the net. I think, look, Alonso would have to take a lot of the blame. When the season started, Jude Bellingham was away to do his surgery on the shoulder. I don't think Adagula and Jude Bellingham can play in the same midfield. He has to be one of them. And he's trying so hard, because Adagula had been so good, he's trying so hard to fit the both of them in there. I thought this was a game where Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and maybe Adagula or Bellingham should have played in the middle of the park. But it was Tchouaméni, Adagula, and Bellingham, and they just couldn't close down the space.
This last goal, the audacity of it.
Just, setting Courtois down, getting past him, and just walking the ball into the back of the net to make. At this point, it was with 9 men, they also. Madrid had no chance in the game. So I think Alonso had made a lot of mistakes in player selection, a lot of mistakes in maybe style. I'm always a firm believer that when you're coaching and working into a club, assess the profile of players you have and then decide how you want them to play. I don't think you carry the style you want to play into a team and force the profiles you have into playing into it. I might be wrong in your opinion, but that's just my opinion. I don't think that the great managers walk into a team with their style in their pockets and force every player in there to do so. I think that the great managers walk into a team, manage the players that they have until they're able to phase them out of the club, and then they are able to then introduce the way they want to play over time. But yeah, Alonso is just trying too hard to give Madrid the control they might never have, because they don't even have the player like Toni Kroos who would have given them that. All the midfielders they've got don't have that in their ability. The one player who's got that in his ability, he doesn't trust him to play a lot of games. So he has to save his job by beating Man City, which would be a very difficult game.
DK, will that happen?
I think City will beat him and he should sack him. He needs to go. Look, I don't like... Cicho has said it, and similar to the Salah, there's a way you manage some players.
Right.
When you are walking into Real Madrid with the star quality they have, you should know that you can't force Bellingham to play the way you want him to play. You have to accommodate them. So you do a lot more
Vinicius.
of the thing and annoy Vinicius. A whole Carlo Ancelotti didn't force anybody. You have Bellingham will play, must play. Vinicius must play. Mbappe must play. So you sit. That's why you have a long holiday to prepare on how you will coach them and formulate a way that will bring proper. You don't go in now. He's fighting. He should go. So somebody who has played in the club before with all this talk, it was how Mourinho was treating the boys when he was there. You should go. They should sack him. Maybe in a few years.
Let's see how the rest of the Champions League fixtures look like, and then we can wrap up with some Ghana Premier League and Formula One action.
Charlie, the guy they bench Enrico.
Oh, Master.
Oh, Master, sit down, sit down.
With the go World Cup.
Mercurial Hendrick.
Oga.
Bobby,
in
sit
January,
down, sit down, sit down.
in January, he's going to League.
No, you
Sit down,
people don't
sit
get
down,
it too.
sit
You
down.
know, Esteban is senior be Enrico.
Let's talk about Champions League. Barcelona, they had no issues. We're going to go to Champions League. Listen, the standout games are two, in my opinion. Real Madrid against Man City
yeah.
on Wednesday. But these are the Tuesday matches, and the big one,
Good luck to Liverpool.
Inter Milan against Liverpool. That should be some game.
Inter win.
Wow.
Inter win, but they won't disgrace Liverpool. That's what I don't like about it.
Really?
Yeah, I want them.
With the way Liverpool are defending, I can't say they won't disgrace them. Inter are lethal at times. And Liverpool consider a lot of set pieces, and Inter are devastating for set pieces.
You see, there are some teams that are like that. Inter are not
PSG.
like that. Thank
You
you.
know, all of a sudden, too, I'm not feeling confident in that Atalanta-Chelsea game.
Look, Atalanta
That's what I mean.
are bad now.
Are they? How
Yeah,
bad?
they lost over the weekend to Verona. Verona never beat anybody, and Atalanta are not looking too good. I think Chelsea need to rediscover their winning formula when they play against Atalanta because they're not in the greatest form now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, let me show you the Ghana Premier League results for this weekend. I mean, tell yourself, enjoy the games. We'll have live commentary on Joy FM and Hits FM on Tuesday and Wednesday night. But these are some select results. Both Hearts of Oak and Kotoko lost. Kotoko lost to Oho United. Hearts of Oak lost to Karela United in Tamale, so not a good result for them. But really good result for Mediama, 2-1, main top of the table. Nations FC also beat Lions 2-1. This is what the table now looks like, and it is Mediama and Gianna Stars who are obviously still right.
Did you see Salim Adams go?
Is that what?
Did you see Salim Adams go? The one that won the game.
Yeah. Oh, Salim Adams, he's rediscovered though.
Yeah, very
Bullet
good goal.
shot.
Yeah, he's got that in his locker. Shoots from range.
Yeah.
I remember when I was running commentary, he had that.
Yeah, so Mediama top of the table, 26 points, followed by Gianna 24. Hearts of Lions, despite the defeat this weekend, they have 23 points, with the Gold Stars completing the top four. Kotoko are down in 5th position. They have 21 points. Hearts of Oak, you have to go down to 7th to find them on the table. We're going to wrap up with Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It was a season-ending Formula One Grand Prix race. There it is, the action. Sicho said here last week, Lando Norris needed to finish on the podium to guarantee victory. And he found it, finished 3rd, and he's crowned champion. The first of his career. And again, Max Verstappen finishing first. It was, without a doubt, once he smelled blood, he was always going to go for it. He did what he had to do, but I think in the end, Lando has shown enough consistency over the season to wrap up the win. But you analyze the whole season, Oscar Piastri might not be too pleased for his team.
Oscar Piastri was the best driver in the first half, and the second half not. Next season will be interesting with no DRS technology for the cars. So now it's going to be interesting.
And they're getting rid of these cars, actually.
Yeah,
a new design of cars. That are
But Lando's story is incredible. Came from a rich home. People thought he was only there because he had a rich family. Lando, no wins when he had never won a Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Then he won a Grand Prix, and then fast forward to this year, he's a world champion. Credit to Zach Brown, director of McLaren, or the leader of the team, and then, of course, Lando and Oscar Piastri. They were rivals, yet teammates, and I think they managed that well. There were a few moments where you thought their rival was going to get the better of them, but in the end, they came together as a team, and the clashes were not there. They all had a smooth season. Oscar is still young. I think he's still one of the most promising drivers on that circuit, and he will have his time, Oscar. Yeah.
And so we'll see. Oscar Piastri, he's had a great season as well. Finished second in the third in the driver's standing behind Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton finished 6th this season, and it's looking very interesting. Already looking a bit frosty.
Is it past his best, or is just Ferrari not? Because
it's a Ferrari problem.
But
they've had the same issue for the past 6 seasons.
Wait, he's not going to win the Grand Prix, but his other teammate is driving the car a lot better than him, and that's the thing. It's not about them winning; it's about who is doing better in that car because they are the same cars.
Yeah, well, there is that, but also I think when you look at a lot of the technical decisions they've made over the season,
Agreed.
In the past 6, it's been the same theme. The way they treated and handled out another veteran, another very experienced winner like Vettel.
Yeah.
For me, that was when I started to really have major doubts about
Ferrari. Red, eh?
It's a Ferrari fan.
Red. They were red.
Yeah.
They hounded out a legend. I'm serious.
I didn't treat Vettel well at all, and you know, and
Look,
from then on,
it's
it's just been downhill. And I thought, like, you know, the Frenchman is a good, really good-looking driver for them, big marketing too, and what have you. But he's also not finding the win. If I were to bet my last dollar between Lando and Charles Leclerc on who would win the first Formula One championship,
Would have been
I
Charles.
would have said it would be Charles.
Surely. 100%.
But it's McLaren. It's Ferrari.
It's a Ferrari
So
issue.
that's why it didn't happen. And now I'm thinking about Lewis and reevaluating that decision. Maybe you need to leave Italy. We'll find a different place. We'll find a different. Because Lewis also won his first champions with McLaren.
Lose
before
the
he
show
went
and
to
let's go.
Mercedes.
Massa.
He's a McLaren fan. He's ranting. No, man. Allow him.
You know, so we'll see.
He's a Ferrari fan.
Ferrari now, I mean, Tiazi, the culture there is not great. Anyway, that's our show tonight. Thank you so much. We're back again next Monday. Until then, do have a very lovely, lovely rest of the week.